to the NXT Podcast, your home for weekly NXT reviews and insight.
The beautiful part of NXT is that when one dream ends, another dream begins.
Find all of your NXT news, recaps, and analysis right here. So with that being said, we only have one question for you.
Are you ready?
We thought so. Let's get the show started right now.
All right, everyone. This is Memphis Mark coming to you from Mullet Manor. And we've got Spring Breakin up this week for NXT, the 423. And Spring Breakin, apparently we have 2 weeks of this, and I wasn't aware of the 2 weeks, or I guess I just overlooked it. But either way, this is week 1, folks, and and they actually start off the show with Ava and Nick and all the GMs, Adam and everybody. So they're blowing up Ava with her knowledge and her great history in the business. She comes out and says it's going to be unforgettable or something to that effect, but either way it goes. The first match they start off with is, like a triple threat title match. And you've got Lyra and Roxanne and Tatum going in, Tatum Paxley. And actually, one of the better matches tonight. The timing wasn't, exactly perfect in all this or whatever like that. But Lyra and Roxanne really good in their spots. Tatum becoming an excellent wrestler. So, this little deal, to start the show off, it did its job. It told a story. But Roxanne is going to end up, with the win in this. And there was a few little mess ups, but nothing really bad. And all these ladies can work great. It's just, I don't particularly like them in a triple threat match. But, I understand why they did it. And so yeah, they go from that match though, where they start having everybody and their next door neighbor to give a prediction on the Dragunov and the Trick Willie match later, the main event. And they get everybody from all the main rosters to some other people that I guess are some kind of stars, maybe some of the athletes for the Paris Olympics. I mean, it seemed like they asked everyone, and everyone gave their scripted opinion. Very good. So, yeah, they do that a few times in the show, where they just keep going over and over that. But hey, it's filling time and giving everybody a little TV time. So and then let me see. After that, they've got a new tag team coming out, and the guys looked good from what little spots I saw or I've seen of them. They looked pretty good in the ring, but they sounded a little New Day-ish with their verbiage and everything. I hope we're not getting a bigger version, a bigger, stronger version. But anyway, they're going to go into the next match. They have a little deal with Jada Parker. She gets into it with Val and Henry, and it's going to set up a match later. Kind of the same thing they do each week. They go to the locker room and they come back out with a match. So yes, they got that coming up later. But they're gonna have Tony D and the family. They're looking for a little money, a little payback from the No Quarter Catch crew. And I gotta say, Born in this group, very, very good. Randy Ortonish, Damon Kemp, really, really good. He's going to convert over. I think he will end up being okay. Who would I put him more of a bigger, stronger Taz? Maybe definitely more talented. And then yeah, you've got the Steven Regal. Charlie Dempsey. And Dempsey. In this match, of course, Dempsey is the Heritage Cup, holder, and that's what this is all going to end up coming back to next week, is a match in here. And as far as this match, this is one of the better matches too, so the first two, it looks like, I got, if I was going to do a scoring from, say, 1 to 5, they're threes, 2 and 3/4, but somewhere in that range. But Tony D and the No Quarter Catch Crew, the match is going to be pretty good. Man, I see so much in Dempsey and Regal. I could see them making him king of the ring on down the road, and just there's with his talent, it's unlimited. But and we got a Rampage Jackson reference from, I believe it was Booker T, on a slam that Tony D did. So and Tony D, they're going to end up winning this match and getting a little revenge, which is pretty much just going to set up for an Heritage Cup spot on down the road. And they played it off pretty good. They told a story in this, so that's all you can ask for, folks. They told a story, and it was actually not so bad. Let me see. Then they've got a kind of a nice little spot with Baron Corbin, and you know what? They sent Dijak down to the NXT to kind of reinvent himself, and I guess he has or whatever. But Corbin, man, Corbin's starting to grow on me a little bit more and more. I just I don't know what it is, but they're doing a little promo spot with him and a camera guy, and hey, Lexus King comes in and brings him a basket of goodies for him to take away as he's going to be leaving NXT, and that's going to lead up to a match in itself. But Baron does make a reference to Lexus King's beard, saying it can't be real, man. And it is a pretty jacked. It's a lined up beard, that's for sure. And then, we're going to end up having that match with Jada Parker and Valen Henry. Of course, OTM in the house coming out with her. And the match itself, this would have been a 2.5 type of match. Jada is just, I think, needs more time in the ring. I can see some great talent in there, in her facial expressions and her mannerisms. She's got star written over her, all around her. But Valen Henry is kind of already there. She could be plucked from this roster and put right on the main event or the main roster. The match itself is a pretty good match, but their go home, their finish, not so good. Not so good. But Jada was doing some like Kevin Nash moves. That's one of the few times you're going to hear someone mention, when it's talking about wrestling moves, and putting Kevin Nash name in there. Look, I love me some Big Sexy, but he is not the in-ring performer. He's I shouldn't say that. He's not the same type of in-ring performer, but good. I don't want to mad at me, but she used some Kevin Nash type moves. So as I said, the match itself, pretty good. It's just the go home. I just wasn't the craziest about. Let me see. We have a JC Jane and Jasmine. We have a sighting, and she's laying it down about Thea. And JC does pretty good with the stick. So she, although Jasmine behind her, like a behind her head, if her head would have moved a little side to side, we'd have really had something going there. And then then we got a little spot with Natty and Miss Petrovich, whatever, Karen is out there. They're going to do a promo for the first ever ladies underground match. Yeah, so we'll see how this is going to go, but somebody wrote it, so it will be done. But then we go into the contract signing for this first ever ladies underground match, and it was they've got everybody surrounding the ring. Of course, no ropes. They're backwoods version of UFC, I guess you would say. But Natty comes out there with KP and talking their stuff, and Lola comes out, of course, makes a couple good remarks, saying that she not only shakes her butt, but she can kick some butt. It wasn't so bad, but Natty did have some good spots, talking about, the respect for Lola since she had fought in the cage. But Natty brings up the dungeon, the Stu Hart dungeon. So, good little spot there. And we got to have a good end. We got to have a good end. So, let me see. Somebody gets hit, and then, they bring Shayna Baszler out and reveal her as Lola's trainer. And there's some words, and KP kicks Shayna upside the head after she gets shoved, and Natty and Lola throw down, but Natty throws Lola into the wrestlers that are surrounding the actual ring. They catch her. Yeah, good little spot there. Good little spot. You can't say nothing too bad. Let's see. We got Ridge Holland and Sean Spears doing their little promo spot, and it goes into a little deal with in the locker room with Inoki and Blade, and you've got there's one of the LWO in there, and then you've got the Good Brothers come in, and not so bad little spot. They have a mirror there, so they got to break the mirror. So, and that's what they do. And I guess Inoki has got 7 years of bad luck coming. I guess that's where they're going with that. But after this, though, like I was saying on the ratings, if I was going to do 1 to 5, folks, this was a 1. I got to be truthful on this. This is the beach brawl match between Blair Davenport and Sol Ruka. And they bring out the extreme Terry Funk ECW style. It's with a foam board, like a surfboard or a boogie board. They've got a football. Somebody gets smacked upside the head by a beach ball. We have a suplex into a small kiddies pool full of little balls. I mean, these ladies went out and performed the match. I would say, ladies good, match bad. That was about the easiest way I can put that, man. Sol Ruka's going to win the match, and she does some spectacular moves. And of course, Blair Davenport is consistent, just straight ahead, good in-ring performer. But it's hard to make a plastic beach ball look. I don't know who wrote this one, but they need to be set down and explain a few things. They need explaining. To. And then they're going to do, they're going to do a Trick promo, a Trick Williams promo, and this is where it's starting to push the limits here. All right, apparently his mother is in the hospital, and he was calling her, and of course she ends the conversation with, whoop that trick. I was loving to whoop the trick at first. I was loving it at first. Yeah. But yeah, they do a little, and oh yeah, Johnny Gargano's got to show up and give a little pep talk and to Trick and yeah, I guess all right. But then they go into a promo for the next premium live event, which would be Battleground, and they're going to do it in Vegas, which hey, cool, sounds good. But they're going to do it at a UFC facility using the UFC ring. This should be pretty interesting. I remember UFC saying that they did not want to bleed the wrestling in, but everybody says a lot of things until they own a business, and then you do what you got to do. So maybe that's what they're doing here. I'm not sure. But this should be pretty interesting to see how they pull this off. You know that they're going to have all the good camera angles and all that stuff's already covered. UFC's, you know they've got that covered. But how the facility plays itself to a premium live event for NXT, we will see. We'll see how it goes. And then we got, before the main event, we've got one more match, and it's the added match because of the basket and the beard. You got Baron Corbin going up against Lexis King, the second generation wrestler, going against the ex-NFL guy. And I got to say, the match was pretty good. Pretty good. They told a story in there. I want to beat a dead horse, but they told a good story. They laid it out. They actually did do everything. There's nothing really bad I could say about this. Both of these guys can work. Lexus, of course, is a far less time in the ring, but he's the real deal. And with that grooming technique he's got, hey, he's going to the top. Straight to the moon. But yeah, they put on a good show. How are we gonna, pull this off to where, there's a win-win with a loss? So you get a win-win with a loss. You have the referee's back turn and then do a little grapefruit checking. So Baron gets one in the old yam bags, as Taz would say it there, and Corbin goes down after a big move from Lexis King. So Lexis King pulls off the big, probably the biggest win of his career so far on NXT. So hey, beat a former champ and King of the Ring. So there you go. Let me see. They do a little spot with Metaphor. The car breaks down and the two gentlemen get out, and at least they did figure out how to get the hood up, and they're out there trying to figure out what to do to the car. And then the ladies come over and pretty much say, get back in the car, Metros, and get in here, you don't know what you're doing. And the ladies get everything working, and you see them driving off. So the ladies saved the day for Metaphor, for Mensa and Noam. And they had one of the ladies was going to hitchhike, and I don't know if anybody really even knows what hitchhiking is anymore. I actually have done a little hitchhiking in my days when I was younger, and so when they do Metaphor, when Noam does his little hitchhiking spot, it's, hey, they've got a good chemistry together. Noam's a lot funnier than I thought he was. I kind of like the way they're breaking him out and giving him a little bit of a push, and we're getting to see a little, the other side. And then Mensa, same way as Mensa, kind of funny. He ends up taking the grunt of most of the stuff, but still. Now, he can go in the ring, too. So, they're getting him that TV time for sure. So, yeah, we had the gonads taken care of by Lexus. So, Baron loses that. Lexus gets that win, and then of course they're going to do a few more minutes of predictions to where every Tom, Dick, and Harry is over here telling who they think of their opinion on who's going to win this match. But they actually do come off and have the actual match, and they've even got Brian, or I can't think of the reporter's name, but the main roster reporter over there interviewing Trick before he comes out, and I mean, Trick's getting really good with on the stick himself, with giving his his spots, and so he pulls it off and runs out there when they're doing it. And then, of course, we whoop the Trick for a little while there. And then, of course, now you've got the Dragunov coming out, changing the mood of the room. And this match is probably, one of the better ones, I'd say. It's a 3. I would say it's a 3 out of the, using a 1 to 5. And, the Dragunov is always going to pull it off and make it look good. And don't get me wrong, Trick does a great job in here most of the time. It's just, man, they're giving him a monster push. I mean, he's going straight to the line, going past go and collecting $200, pulling. I mean, they're putting all their eggs in one basket. And in the match, Dragunov carries the match mostly, and pulls through. It just seems like somebody that was getting this kind of a push would already have a few of these things, maybe taken care of. But maybe it's just the timing, and they're going, they're riding the wave, and going ahead and giving the push maybe a little prematurely. But they're doing it, and in this match, they have a little of everything. Dragunov looks like he may have re-injured his wrist or his hand while he was pulling the H-bomb off the top rope on Trick 2 times, and then a third, which all get kicked out. And one of the times is because he has a pain in there, saying he can't get over there quick enough for a pin. And, man, they go back and forth. Now, the end, it sounded like somebody was telling him, whatever version of Go Home in this one. The end was okay. It was okay. And the match, was pretty good. I just think it did not live up to the hype, is what I'll say. And when I gave it a 3 on the 3 at 1 to 5, I was being generous a little bit, probably about a half a point, because they just pulled it off. But even at the end, all right, so they pull it off, and it looks like Trick's getting ready to do his, a ceremonial, like get up on the ropes or whatever, and you can clearly hear the ref going, "Look, we got 1 minute." So Dragunov goes over and kind of presents him with the belt, and Trick goes to go back up on those ropes again, and when he does that, the ref, you see him come over and touch his foot, like get his attention, like because the crowd will be going so loud, so they do a touchy-feely to make sure the guys make eye contact, and it was like, you got 1 minute. You could clear him, say you got 1 minute, so he knew to get the belt, get down, and get ready for that money shot at the end where he's in the crowd and everybody's going crazy because Trick Willie pinned Dragunov. So, big deal. I guess Dragunov is going to go take maybe a few weeks off. Maybe they'll use him in a European tour over there or something like that. But, we have a new NXT champion in Trick Williams. So get ready to see a lot of those t-shirts, and you're going to see a lot more Lola Vice merchandise too, because they're really, I think, doing a good job of doing that. But yeah, so we got a new champ. So we'll see how he does from here, folks. That's faux show. All right, guys. Well, that is the first week of spring breaking. It just, anyway. All right, let me see. I did have one little note I wrote down. Oh, yes. In the show, they do a spot with the New Testament or whatever they're called here, but you got Paul Ellering and the guys cross and everything, but I haven't really heard them do any promo spots with Paul Ellering speaking, because he was such an elegant look. The first time I saw Paul Ellering, he was a wrestler, and he came through the Memphis territory and did pretty good, but he was so stiff, and he just didn't have quite the fluid moves that everyone here had. So he wasn't here a long time, but then within like 4 years after that, they put him with the Road Warriors, and the rest was history. They finally let the cat out of the bag. They let the beast loose, and they let Paul Ellering speak. So kudos to whoever finally figured that out. Anyway, all right, guys, I guess that's pretty much it. So we'll wrap it up here. Been flying and jet flying and limousine riding, and so I got to get unpacked, and we'll get everything taken care of. And thank you again, guys, for taking a couple minutes out of your week to listen. And if you can, get to a shelter or get out there and help wherever you can. Help a rescue out there. And spay and neuter. Absolutely getting ready to have to do that myself to the big pup. Got to get him fixed. So, yeah, guys, you have a great week. And this is Memphis Mark, and I'm out of here.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.